Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw number 236, another 7 curious, interesting things I saw last week. So as ever, let's crack on. First one is Zippi. This is a 360-degree spherical billboard in the sky. So well done for Eric for this one. That is amazing. It's taken him over a year to do this. Lots and lots of challenges along the way. A really interesting video if you're into this sort of thing, but there you go. It's kind of Las Vegas sphere in the small, in the sky. So there you go. If you've seen any drone shows, then this is different. This is a drone that is literally a billboard, which is excellent. If you remember Vine from, I think, 2013, I think it stopped in 2017, it's making a comeback, but it's making a comeback with a bit of a twist. This is Divine. So Jack Dorsey is behind this, essentially the founder of Twitter back in the day. It's got nothing to do with Twitter though, but this is essentially it is a pushback against AI slop. So Divine has to be created by humans. So there is a proof mode, and the proof mode has lots of different ways to do it. It's cryptographic, it's got device authentication essentially, and it's also hashed. SHA-256 if you're interested. So there you go. So each one of the videos, and now it's only a demo at the moment. There's there's a lot of people who've signed up for the demo who seem to be blokes who seem to be just recording their foreheads. But there you go. But watch out for that. I think this is a growing trend where platforms will be human proofed. There you go. This is a really interesting small robot. So you're seeing in the top right corner, this is the actuator, and it's a sort of a platform with 3 actuator levers. And the one you're seeing in the bottom corner, that's like a grain of salt or sand being thrown into the air by this thing. So that's how small this is. So that's 1.4 millimeters across. It's built in situ. So the 3D printing of this, the nano-fabrication, can actually print them, and you can see them in the bottom right if my head's not in the way, how small they are compared to a 1-cent piece, which is like a 1p if you're from the UK. But there you go. So imagine a bunch of these all chained together. They're 1.4 millimeters, so about the size of a sort of fabric stitch, I guess. So you can make an entire fabric out of these things, which can then vibrate and give you haptic feedback or all sorts of things. So quite what you do with it, not really sure, but at this dimension, it's super precise. So you can inject these into the body and they can do things. So yeah, it's happening, folks. This is ultra perspective. I'm not quite sure if that's what it's actually called, but this is Chinese live sports. Badminton in this case, and this is through the app, and if you then want to just watch it in any angle, you can do. Now this is slightly different to what you might have seen with the NBA tabletop, for instance, which you can see through sort of Apple headsets and whatnot. This is live video, and it uses AI and all that sort of good stuff as well. Of course it does, but it's live video rather than a game engine and CGI. So there you go. It's all through the app. This is just, whatever. This is just normal, obviously, in China. The rest of the world is trying to catch up on this, and we're really in the demo phase. So I really like that. Well done. This is from Toyota. This was at the Tokyo Mobility Show. They had lots of different interesting concepts as well. This is just one of the 3 personal mobility ones they had as well. And this is called Walk Me, and it is a chair that takes a different view on the wheelchair, i.e. there are no wheels, and it takes essentially from a crab. They gave some other animal that they used, but crab, it's a crab, right? It has some really cool things. It can walk about. Obviously, it can come to you. Normal wheelchairs can't do that, obviously. It has LiDAR. It can map out your house, and it can be controlled using the little joysticks on the side, but also it's voice control. So if you just say, take me to the kitchen, it'll take you to the kitchen, which I think is pretty cool. There you go. It can also dance, it can go on even ground and walk upstairs. So we like that, more of that, please. This is spatially varying autofocus, bit nerdy, but if you remember a couple of years ago, you probably won't, but planoptic lenses, which took essentially a light field snap of a scene, and therefore every point of light can then be interrogated. That was super nerdy, didn't take on. This is a new version, which is spatially varying autofocus. So basically what they've done here is they've taken, instead of like a normal camera that has a field of view, it has a focus point, which is a single plane. It's showing you here, and therefore whatever's in focus is in focus, whatever isn't. This one takes this approach where what it does is it uses a depth analysis of the scene, and therefore can point the different focus points at the different objects depending on the depth of them. So it uses this kind of funky lens that can then divert the focal point depending where it needs to be in the scene. But you can do some funky things like this. You can actually say, I want to do the far bit in focus, the front bit in focus, and the middle bit out of focus. So things can disappear as well in the scenes. So kind of interesting. This might be the future of your smartphone or photography or whatever, but there you go. We are freeing ourselves up from the tyranny of single focus planes. And finally, you may have noticed this one came out last week. It all bit blew up. This is the Coke Holidays Are Coming AI ad. This is traditional now. I think it started about 10 years ago or so. But this year, like last year, it was AI generated, and lots of people, including me, if you've seen this infographic, that was me on a flight. I just thought I'd do that, and it seems to have sparked a little bit of attention in that it's not really about the fact that it is AI generated, although it didn't need to be. There's a lot of evidence that says if you just rerun the same advert every year, then people will love it. So they didn't really need to change it. If you look at the wheels on every single truck, they move about, they're different. Some have 4, some have 22, for instance. So there you go. It was really a question of the creative behind it being attention to detail. Just because it's AI doesn't mean you don't have to care. There you go. Nicely done. And that is it for this week. Hopefully it was useful. If it was, give it a like, share it with somebody lovely, and I'll see you next week.